I haven't actually had a chance to look at your review yet, so I am asking you in total ignorance. So I'm basically going to need you to just babysit me.
Okay.
For this. It's a long old review, actually. Terrence flicking through it. Just going to read the conclusion because, let's be honest, that's the only bit that matters, isn't
it? You're listening to the official Push Square podcast featuring Ben and Ben. Do you push square?
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 11 of the Push Square podcast. My name is Ben Potter. I am the podcast editor for the best PlayStation website on the internet, pushsquare.com. Nearly forgot the name of the best PlayStation website on the internet then. It's really hot today.
Really hot.
Joining me as always, even though it's only been 11 times, is Mr. Ben Tarrant. Hello Ben.
Hello Ben.
How are you surviving right now?
I'm dying.
You're in the most garishly coloured outfit I've ever seen. You look like Mr. Motivator.
A really offensive tie-dye.
Dated reference.
It's not got sleeves, so it was going on in this weather.
Yeah.
I'm British, I want rain and coldness.
It's horrid.
It's just horrible.
It's muggy and humid and all the windows are open, so if you can hear London, then that's just a treat for you. You don't have to come and visit.
You lucky people.
And suffer. So we're just gonna fly on through this thing and just try and get it done. We just had to turn off the fan in order to record it because we care about audio quality as bad as it is usually.
So we're on borrowed
Not
time.
that bad. Yeah, so if we die, you won't hear it, but if someone releases it,
hear a thud as we hit the floor.
10 hours long, 10 minutes of actual spoken dialogue, and then the rest will just be us moaning, I think, just dying. Frying. So we've got news, obviously. There's the feature this week is Will No Man's Sky live up to the hype? We'll get into that. Robert Ramsey is back on again this show to talk about Am Setsuna. Am Setsuma.
Yeah, there's the joke.
What's Indie Bin this week?
Indie Bin, we've got a super weird mystery game called Assemblance from new studio Nilo.
And then we've got a brief What Are We Playing section again that we introduced last show. And some questions finally, so let's jump in to the news. First up, Bandai Namco.
Going to show something new, aren't they?
At Gamescom, new
Yes.
IP. What do you think this could be?
Well, everyone's sitting there going, new Souls game. But
they've already said they're not doing that unless they go, we've got another studio to make a Souls game, and everyone goes,
that's not good.
I don't know if I want that.
It's going to be something completely inconsequential, but the fact that they publish The Witcher and publish Dark Souls has got everybody in a trance.
Yeah, it could be exciting. Who
Could
knows?
be really lame.
Have they made a big deal out of the fact that they're announcing a new IP?
They announced it in a press release.
Right. So I don't know if they would make a big deal if it was going to be something of inconsequence, but equally they're a company and they want to drum up as much excitement in
About everything, yeah.
they're making. So who knows? When is Gamescom?
It is the 16th, 15th, 16th and 17th
Of
this month, July?
August?
Really?
August. Okay,
August.
So next month then. I was going to say,
Don't know how
it
months
is
work.
that date already,
Yeah,
right?
it's
We've
like,
gone past
I
that.
went back
It's
in time for a
Gamescom
sec.
now.
Yeah.
Hooray! Next up, Gravity Rush 2. It's got a Western release date on the 2nd of December. Exciting.
I haven't
Fits
played
in
the
that.
first one
You
yet.
should. I would lend it to you, but you wouldn't play it.
I also wouldn't probably give it back either.
No, probably not. I really liked the first one.
Yeah?
Played it again on PS4. Played it on Vita originally. Got platinum in both of them.
Which one's better?
Of course.
Like, what platform's better to play it on?
I honestly don't know. I don't think there's any difference.
Yeah.
I may be romanticising my memories of it with Vita. It's probably easier to play it on PS4.
Okay.
But this was a similar issue I've had with the Handsome Collection,
Right.
Borderlands, where I played Borderlands 2 on PS4 and then I nipped back to PS3 to upload my save data. Oh, Nick, it looks like crap.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't remember it looking that bad. So you forget just how terrible it is.
You don't realise
actually.
the jump, do you?
Exactly. So I'm sure if I went back and played it on Vita, I think, oh god, this is horrid.
Horrid, yeah.
But it's worth a go on both if you have either or console. And let's face it, no one's going to have a Vita and probably not a PS4.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that people who owned a Vita would have a PS4.
Yeah.
So that's great. That fits into a nice release window for me, where there's a few games coming out pretty much every month towards the end of the year
it's looking
that I'm
really
interested
good.
in, which is exciting. Next up, Star Wars Battlefront's final DLC will be Rogue One themed. Rogue One, the new Star Wars film.
Yeah, which I'm really excited for.
I think they announced this at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Which I was at.
You were?
Briefly. Thought it was really tedious and quite boring.
Really?
Yep.
You didn't like it?
I've talked about it in depth on another podcast, and essentially it's because 99% of it was just a Star Wars market.
Yeah.
People just selling Star Wars stuff. There, obviously, you have your panels, and you have your sign up and pay a disgusting amount of money to get an autograph kind of thing. But there ain't no nerds like Star Wars nerds. These guys take nerds seriously, right? So they show up at 10 p.m. the night before to get in the queue for this stuff, and it's like,
wow,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So there was no chance in hell I was ever going to see any of that. So as a result, it was basically just like a giant Star Wars market of overpriced Star Wars toys. That would have been nice if they'd played that. But they announced that there. Looking forward to the film as well, actually.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to the film. So looking forward to the film.
But there we go. Speaking of Star Wars, Amy Hennig's Star Wars apparently will play a lot like Uncharted. I think we probably assumed as much because it's her bread and butter, isn't it? Has she made another kind of game? What did she make before Uncharted? I can't remember what it is now. But she definitely introduced the world to that style of game, of action and story and
Star Wars
swashbuckling and charm and stuff like that. And that's very much Han Solo in a nutshell. So there's space for two characters like that in the Star Wars universe, I'm sure. Next,
Rise of the Tomb Raider actually got announced formally today.
Really?
On my notes it says that it's slated for 11th of October due to a leak. It got formally announced today, probably due to that leak. It's got a really similar cover to the Untitled collection.
Has it?
Yeah, like, it's Drake's outline.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same. So it's
is it like a
Lara's
definitive
outline.
Edition or some crap?
It's celebrating 20 years, so it's like a celebration package. It's basically like, we're really sorry we did that exclusivity deal.
Yeah, that was a bad idea on their part.
And they've thrown in a load of extra stuff.
Has it been exactly a year?
It does. The leak was correct, October 11th.
There we go.
Yeah.
Has it been exactly a year?
No, hasn't been a year, I don't think.
It does look a little bit Uncharted, doesn't it? Box art.
What'd you get? All previously released DLC content.
Yeah. There's a bus, everyone.
A new Extreme, bus. It's a new member of the show. New Extreme Survivor difficulty, co-op endurance mode, story chapter, and you can experience the new story chapter in VR. And there's also a horde of zombie things.
VR will be around...
Sickening.
Shortly... What? VR will be out shortly after that, right? When's it? November or something?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So basically, they've just thrown in a load of stuff that you would get in like a Game of the Year edition and given it to the PS4 players as an apology.
Not bad.
I'd pick it up. I really loved the original reboot.
It got reviewed pretty damn well, right?
Yeah, really well.
So that's good. And
no one could understand the exclusivity.
No, I don't know. It must have been a disturbing amount of money for them to agree to that.
Yeah.
But I don't wish the developer any wrong there, because it was very much a publisher's boneheaded decision, I'd have thought, and Crystal Dynamics wouldn't have had much to say in the matter. But it's meant to be really good, and as much as people are going to compare it to Uncharted, as we discussed when we were talking about Uncharted 4, it sort of evolved again into another entirely separate entity, whereas Tomb Raider is sort of still stuck, not necessarily stuck, but it's still very much inspired by what Uncharted is doing, and so they're two completely separate entities now, as far as I'm concerned. So they can definitely exist side by side on PS4, so that's good. Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2. You ever play these?
No, and to be honest, actually that's a lie. I played Dead Rising because that's the one where you start in a shopping mall, isn't it?
I think it's both, right? I think
both.
Dead Rising 2 is set sort of like in Las Vegas rip-off kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't... It's just like a hack and slashy thing, isn't it?
I played Dead Rising 2 on PS3. It didn't blow me away, to be honest, and I played it a lot because I was obsessed at that point. I think it was like 2011 or something. I was really obsessed with Yahtzee and his reviews, and I used to just be one of these guys who just took his word as law. Oh, and he was like,
I like his stuff, but I don't listen to him.
I haven't been able to listen for a long time because of like just the constantly advice I was getting from him, because I was listening to what he was saying, and he said, "This game's brilliant. I really like this game. I played it and thought, this is crap. There is nothing to this game." and so I haven't really paid attention to them since. But they're getting a PS4 remaster. Apparently, it says slated for a PS4 remaster. Is that confirmed?
They got confirmed today as well. My notes are a little bit out of date. It was too hot.
That's fine. No, I'm not sighing at that. I'm sighing at the fact that these are getting a remaster at this point. It feels like they've deliberated and thought, shall we put it out, even though we've just said that Dead Rising 3 and the next Dead Rising game are going to be exclusive to Xbox One? Should we do a remaster? Yeah, let's do a remaster on PS4. Now seems like a good time. We've got all the goodwill in the world from these guys. I don't know who's going to want this.
It will sell. The remasters seem to just... They keep happening because people keep buying them.
I just wish that good games got remastered. It seems to be in order... And these aren't bad games. Okay, let me rephrase
Bioshock
that.
got remastered.
It seems inordinately... It seems overwhelmingly that not so amazing games are getting remasters, and that's such a shame. I know we've got Bioshock, I know we've got Batman, which has been delayed indefinitely for the time being. Where the hell's our Mass Effect port? That seems insane to me that they haven't put Mass Effect 1 to 3 on a disc yet. I don't understand
that. Probably because it's too big.
I think they could easily.
Just do a Dark Souls remaster. Dark Souls and Demon Souls.
Just a Dark Souls re-release. They don't need to remake it, although I'd love a remake. But yeah, anyway, that's coming out. If you want to not buy that, then
go for it.
Don't buy that. Telltale's Batman game, which was announced at E3 last year,
yes.
I think. That is due out on PS3 for some reason, and PS4 in August.
And the first trailer came out today.
Did it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't, but a lot of people are losing their marbles over it on Twitter.
Looking forward to that. Interested to see how they...
Not played a Telltale game. Still holding off on it. I'm just not quite...
See, I don't really know what to recommend. In my opinion, the best
Wolf Among
ones...
Us, wasn't it?
The Wolf Among Us is the best one. The Walking Dead Season 1, you need to play it just because of...
I've got that. I got it on PS Plus.
I think you've got it 5 instances of it on PS Plus across various consoles. Just because it was their first game that was actually really good. Their first episodic game that was really good and actually told a proper story. And for entertainment value alone, Tales from the Borderlands is really just so good. And I know so many people who thoroughly dislike Borderlands but love this because Telltale has taken the lore and the world of Borderlands, which is probably the most interesting part of it, so like a Mad Max kind of post-apocalyptic kind of thing, with humour injected, but they've actually written a properly funny story and brilliant dialogue with none of the fluff of go to this location and pick up 5 of these.
You're not a high enough level.
Yeah, exactly. As much as I love Borderlands, it's a fantastic series and people should play it. So yeah, they've got a real pedigree now, and I'm excited to give this a go. I would like a second season of The Wolf Among Us though, because that is amazing. Finally, you can talk about this one.
Fury's soundtrack is now available on Spotify and YouTube. On the YouTube. The soundtrack is actually really, really good.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that.
Really good. Just super techno-y wob wob.
Well, we've got the sick wobs, yeah.
Yeah, sick wobs. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of the key parts of the game when you're moving from boss to boss. You don't do anything. You tap X and you watch your character walk. So you're engulfed by the surrounding visuals and sounds, and the sounds lead it, and it's so good. Really, really works. And I'm slowly working through Fury. It's tough, really tough, but I quite like the challenge. I jump in, try a boss 2 or 3 times, and then leave it for a day.
Right.
So it's kind of a cool platform. There's no fluff in between it. It's just bosses and walking.
One of my ex-colleagues was playing it over his lunchtime, and it just looks amazing in motion.
Yeah, once you get the flow.
Many people talk so highly of it, and I will play it at some point.
Have you downloaded it? Like PS Plus?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Maybe not.
Get it in your library.
I always add things to my library. I just haven't downloaded it yet.
Yeah, so you've got it.
God, it's so hot, man.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Let's move on to the feature. So this week's feature, will No Man's Sky live up to the hype? Who wrote this?
No Man Hype.
No Man Hype wrote this story.
Oh, come on, Sammy's going to have written it.
It's probably Sammy.
Lord Barker, pray to the altar of No Man's Sky.
Barkerdom. Let's be honest, it's probably Barker. So
got the O'Neill's menu up there.
The pub, right? Pushweb Podcast apparently brought to you by O'Neill's. O'Neill's, for portion sizes you just can't manage. Are we looking it up? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Right now?
You can go.
I don't really know what to talk about at this point.
Really?
We've discussed it a lot. I'm interested in the gist of how Sammy is portraying it. I'm wondering if he was favouring it, or perhaps not so positive, maybe, that it's not going to live up to the hype.
Oh, it was Sammy.
It was Sammy.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through MG.
King Barker. Read us the conclusion.
So, should we do that?
Should we just do a conclusion? There's a video as well, youtube.com/pushsquare, where you can watch his video as well.
It's going to be really interesting to see how things shake out. Given that the development has been so long and so public, a lot of our interest here at Push Square Towers is purely academic. How will the game be received? Will it have staying power? And what's the next step for Hello Games? If nothing else, it's going to be a fascinating few weeks.
See, that is
ambiguity.
Spot on in terms of interest being purely academic.
Oh,
because
God,
at this point, I feel like a lot of us have just slowly been drifting away, still watching it, but through increasingly powerful telescopic devices like microscope, and then binoculars, and then telescope, and then we're in the Hubble now.
We're in the Hubble,
which is perhaps appropriate for the type of game it is. But I was excited, and now I'm not.
Agreed.
I want,
agree.
And it's not because I don't think the game will be good. It's because my interest in it has just run out. I just no longer really care about this game.
They blew their load on it way too early.
Well, exactly. They announced it really, really early, and it's a very exciting prospect. As we've said many times, people blowing it completely out of proportion in terms of what they think you're actually going to be able to do in this game. And technically, it should be fascinating to see how it works, because it's procedurally generated and endless. But is it going to be fun to play? Are you going to be given all the tools right from the get-go, and then you're just doing that endlessly, but with slightly different coloured fauna? I don't know who that's going to appeal to for more than a couple of hours. Maybe,
exactly.
Maybe even less. So I'd be very interested to see what the people at the best PlayStation website on the internet have to say, and also our listeners as well, and people in general on Twitter and stuff like that, just how people find it.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it's received. 15 quintillion planets, you're never going to find all of them in our lifetime. We're all going to be dead and buried before they're all found.
It also strikes me as the kind... You're right, and they're never all going to be found because they're going to keep generating more of them.
Yeah.
It's... I can't remember what I was going to say now. It's too hot. It strikes me as the kind of game that's going to be incredibly divisive.
Yeah,
and I feel like
people that get it and people that don't.
Without wanting to cause too much controversy here, I feel like reviewers will be inclined to review it more based or weighted towards the technical achievements of the developers, rather than is this a fun game to play? Is this enjoyable and fun?
No, I agree.
Which isn't going to be the case for everyone, and I'm sure the level-headed boffins at the best PlayStation website on the internet will take everything into consideration when they're reviewing it. But it's the kind of game that I'm going to want to hear from a lot of different people with a lot of interest in a lot of different genres and a lot of different types of games. I want to hear what they have to say about it first, because it's not going to please everyone.
No, definitely not.
And they've made it abundantly clear, perhaps even more so than any other game that's ever been released, that look at this incredible thing we have been able to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anyone that's going to argue that is an incredible thing that you've been able to do.
Yeah, it is an achievement. It really is.
But
what do we
how
do
is
with
it a game?
Yeah,
like,
what do we do with it?
Is it going to be fun to play? I don't know.
I've been playing around in my head with it, and something you brought up, I think it was a few episodes ago, about the fact that he has been so reluctant to let anybody else touch it.
Right.
Like, whenever it's being showcased, it's only by Sean. And it's Sean Murray, the lead developer on it.
That's
no
true.
one else is touching it.
I don't think I said this, but that's
really?
an interesting point.
Oh, okay. Must have someone else.
Who else have you been talking to about games?
I know.
Unbelievable.
Shall you've got like 4 podcasts.
No, I don't.
But basically, he hasn't let anybody else play it. There was a brief preview event where you got half an hour.
Sammy played it.
Yeah,
we talked about it on our second episode.
Yes, you only get about half an hour with it, which is nothing when you've got 15 bajillion planets. Yeah. So the fact that, I mean, he was on like Saturday Night Live or something.
Was he?
One of the big American
Conan
maybe
plays games.
Yeah, probably Conan, and Conan wasn't allowed to touch it.
Was he not?
And I think the fact that he is so secretive, not even secretive, defensive of this love child of his.
Yeah, you're
this
not sure if it's
creation.
really because it's his baby and he's
Yeah.
protective, or because he's genuinely worried that you'll instantly discover it's absolutely broken.
Yeah, it's got problems. And do you know what? It seems all based on grind. There's an IGN extended play that I've watched a few times, and it's boring.
Yeah.
I don't get the point. You have to, like, it gets a bit cold, so you have to dig a tunnel and go there where it's warmer, and then you come back out, get some more crystals, and go back under because it's got too cold.
See, these sound like cool aspects of another game.
Yes.
Like for example, Metro Last Light and the Metro games, you have to press a button to wipe your gas mask
That's
screen,
cool.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
But it's like if you built a game around that,
Yeah.
that would be boring.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it sounds like it's a game of these minor tweaks and adjustments and things, but they built a game around it almost. Hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope that's not the case. But equally, that does seem to be all we've seen so far. Is look at the cool little stuff you can do.
Yeah.
It's like, that's great, but what do I do between the little stuff?
I hope the formula he uses to create this is open to people at some point. Because imagine a kind of real-time developed solar system that you can jump in a ship on Earth and fly to another planet. Imagine the educational value of that.
Yeah.
Being able to put kids in school in a ship and send them to Jupiter based on all of our findings of each respective thing. It's got huge... You could build a static map of the universe that can expand alongside our knowledge of the universe. That's incredible.
But the bottom line, I think, is the most important fact is that while it is incredible that they've been able to do this, personally, I don't think procedurally generated things should exist outside of the games where they are proven to work. So, games like roguelikes, for example, things like that. This is incredible, but I, for one, would rather have all the mechanics they've described and shown off, but in a pre-designed and preset universe where you know you're going to find stuff, and because they pre-designed it, it lends itself to actually being designed so they can put things in it, they can put story in it, they can put characters on certain planets, they can put quests in there, they can, I'd rather have this style of game but in a Mass Effect universe, like with a Mass Effect story, rather than selecting where you want to warp to off a map. I'd rather fly there, and I'd rather drop in on planets on the way there and maybe bump into someone who asks me to do something. I'm not so keen on it being just, there you go, we've made it now, go and have fun. But what, where, how, why? There's only so much that curiosity can give you when you know that there's going to be nothing at the end of it.
Yeah. Where's the satisfaction of completion? I know you're supposed to get to the centre of the universe, but you're never going to be fulfilled because how much of the universe have you missed out on? Beelining for that middle. Yeah,
infinite
exactly.
universe, which is...
More than you, your children, and their children's children could find.
Yes.
Which is daft. It's just daft.
To put a nice spin on mortality there, you will die before anyone finds... but there we go. That's No Man's Sky. It's out September, I want to say.
No, August.
August
the 4th?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
soon. Really
It's
soon.
expensive as well, right?
Yeah, it's going to be 40 quid. $39.99.
I don't mind paying full price for it. As far as I'm concerned, it's not an indie game.
No, not anymore.
It's AAA indie, and I think if it's coming in a box, I'm happy
AAA
to...
indie? Have you just coined a new...
No, it's definitely a thing that I've heard elsewhere. I'm not going to take credit for that. It's...
August 9th, sorry.
August the 9th, okay.
That's still pretty close.
It's clearly had a lot of development time, and whether or not they want to admit it, it's definitely had quite a big budget because Sony's clearly poured some money into it.
Gotcha.
And I think they... Well, here's my thinking on the cost of indie games.
Right.
It was a bit of a kick in the teeth for me that The Witness cost £30 and it was digital only.
Right.
Because if I'm looking at spending that kind of money on a
want a
game,
hard copy,
I
don't you?
want it on
Yeah.
a disc, I want it in a box that I can display. And as No Man's Sky is coming in a box, I'm happy to buy that for the price of a full retail game. That's fine. But if you're asking me to pay almost a full retail game price, for example, The Witness is the same price as Ratchet & Clank was, and that had a physical release. At launch it was £30.
And it was way better.
Well, let's not get into that. But basically, if it's physical, then I'm happy to buy it. Coming out very soon. Let us know your thoughts. Go to pushsquare.com/forums. You can actually find us under the online and online communities. There's online communities. We're stickied right to the top, Push Square Podcast. We're actually going to give out an email address as well.
Yes.
It's my Push Square email address, and I just consider that maybe it would make sense to use it as
we're both called Ben.
It's ben@pushsquare.com. So if you have any thoughts, any questions, anything like that, you can send me an email and I'll compile them, and we can do it that way if you can't be asked to create an account, or you can't be asked to go into the forums and find the topic or whatever. We will still check the topic. That will still be our primary source of questions and feedback. But if you have anything you want to contact us directly about, ben@pushsquare.com. Now, this week's review. Associate Editor Robert Ramsey is going to talk about I Am Setsuna. And now, joining us on the line again, guess who's back? Back again. Robert Ramsey's back. Tell a friend. Don't know why I went a bit Christopher Walken at the end there. Tell a friend. How you doing, Rob?
I'm good. How are you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm good. You busy associate editing?
Yes.
Associate editing all day, every damn day. Am I right?
Yep.
Crazy.
Oh my god, it's
Crazy
too hot. Stop making me laugh.
Yeah, it's really warm. Apparently, it's really warm in where are you again? Armpit,
South
England.
Shields.
South Shields. Okay, we said the same thing. You've been reviewing games. That's what you do. And the game you've reviewed this time is I Am Setsuna.
Satsuma.
Sultana. I am a small orange-esque fruit. Now, before we start, I want to talk to you about oranges.
Okay.
Because I feel like this is important and we need to get this out of the way now. Because at several points during this chat, I'm going to unwillingly refer to this game as I Am Setsuna, and you're just going to have to bear with me. Can you tell the difference between a clementine and a satsuma?
What?
Is there a difference?
Isn't it like
On
scallions and
satsumas.
spring onion?
Huh?
Exactly, they're the same thing.
What?
Scallion, spring onion.
I didn't say scallion.
No, I know that,
What are you
but
talking about?
isn't it that kind of like clementine and a satsuma are the same thing?
They're the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
On
Have you ever seen a satsuma and a clementine?
don't they tend to be quite small?
It's always I only ever seem to have satsumas at my grandma's house. So maybe it's just an old person thing and they refer to them as satsumas.
So a clementine, if a young person's holding it, passes to an old person and it morphs
Becomes
into a satsuma.
becomes a setsuna. And
Satsuma.
I am a setsuna. Anyway, thank you for clearing that up for me, guys. I feel
I don't think we cleared anything up.
Well,
Yeah.
at least I was able to air my grievance, and you heard me, and I appreciate
issues
that.
with oranges.
So, Rob, this is
Yeah.
am I right in thinking this is the first game released by the RPG studio, the JRPG studio? What are they called?
Yeah, it's
JRPG Factory.
Tokyo RPG Factory,
That's
and it's
the
like this tiny little team that Square Enix has put together.
Yeah. And this is their first game, is that right?
Yep, a first one. I think there's only it's like a team of about 10, and they brought on like another 10 freelancers to help them with it.
Really? And they only announced that this studio existed last E3, is that right?
Something like that, yeah. It was like recently, and then they just showed this, and they were like, "Oh, we're making this for PS4 and Vita."
This is a game that exists. And,
Yep.
so you're going to talk to us about it now. Please describe what this game is to people who aren't sure.
What is the satsuma?
What is a satsuma, and why are we it?
I don't know. I still don't know what a satsuma is.
Can
sadly.
you look that up, Terry?
But
Yeah, okay. I'm just a researcher today, aren't I?
Yeah, sorry, no, please carry on talking about the game that we're here to discuss. And
Not
the
oranges.
fruit. Yeah.
okay. So it's basically just a love letter to old RPGs, like the first few Final Fantasies or the Dragon Quest games. It's kind of like from a bird's eye view. It's not 2D. It's like got 3D models and stuff, but it's got like turn-based battles, voiceless dialogue,
Right.
that kind of thing. Go from town to town buying weapons, leveling up your party.
How's the music?
It's all the music is entirely piano based.
Ooh.
And it's just like, and loads of the tracks are just like the only instrument's the piano. And you can just imagine some crazy guy or crazy woman sitting there piddling away
Piddling.
the keys. It's very good though. The whole game's set in like a wintry wonderland covered in snow.
And satsumas.
Well, maybe, but
See a single satsuma in this game.
didn't. No, I saw fruit. You can sometimes find like vegetables and stuff in the snow.
Right. No,
They can then use to cook.
It's a shame.
No satsumas though.
absolutely. Oh, there are the seagulls. Yeah, we're talking about this and how hard it is. We've got buses.
What, did you hear them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We've got buses, you've got seagulls.
We got number 106 who's dead keen and joining in on the podcast today. What are your seagulls called? Have you named them yet?
What are my seagulls called?
Yeah, what are you calling them? Is there a name?
Not really.
Phil?
I just gotta make sure I don't get too close to the window.
Right.
Just carry
Try and come in.
Are they known to enter houses, seagulls?
They're known to enter supermarkets and steal food.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've seen that. Do you have any food?
No, I've got a cookie on my desk.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Put it by the window.
Get them.
Do you want an interview with a seagull?
Yes, if you could get Phil the seagull, that'd be great. I'd be really interested on his insight into the whole orange debacle.
Yeah. Maybe he knows what a clementine is.
Yeah, he's stolen enough from supermarkets. Maybe he could tell us. But going back to the game.
The game.
Which is why... my concern, and we talked about it on the last show briefly when we were talking about the top 20 games coming out for the remainder of 2016 that you can find on pushsquare.com. One of them was I Am Setsuna.
Yes.
And my concern was that it was going to be along the same lines as Child of Light, where it looks beautiful and it sounds beautiful and it plays beautifully for about 20 minutes. There's bugger all story and you just do the same thing for 6 or 7 hours and it gets very tedious. Is there any truth to that with this game?
No, it's far more of like a traditional like Japanese RPG in the sense that you kind of get hooked on leveling up your party and following the like the story isn't that great. It's a bit cliched and it's a bit predictable. Have you ever played Final Fantasy X?
I played a little bit of it.
With Tidus and Yuna and Blitzball.
Satsumas, is it?
It's a bit like that in the sense that you play as a guy who ends up going with a young woman who's kind of like she's the sacrifice,
right? And
she's got to go to this place and save humanity from monsters in this age-old ritual kind of thing. So it's a journey of like she's going to die at the end, and it's like this dreaded journey that you take with her, but she's accepted her fate and all that kind of thing because she's the chosen one. So it's a lot like Final Fantasy X in that regard, only I'd say it's probably darker.
Is she Setsuna?
Yes, she's Setsuna, but you can call her whatever you want, so you could potentially call her Satsuma and she'll say, yeah, I am Satsuma.
That's got to make it
but then there won't be any pre-programmed dialogue in there where you could ask her, what's the difference between you and the clementine?
They're all dialogue choices.
Yeah, I'll save it
for the end. Okay, cool. So it got a 7 out of 10.
Yep.
What were your drawbacks then? What were the issues with this game?
Well, I mean, like I kind of hate it when people say that this game doesn't really innovate and therefore it's rubbish. Mm-hmm. But that was kind of like it's the only way you can really put it because it's trying so hard to imitate old RPGs. It doesn't quite. Like old RPGs, if you played Final Fantasy VI now, which is the last 2D mainline Final Fantasy, it'll still seem good, and it'll still have that nostalgic quality. But somebody who never dabbled in that will kind of say it and think, "Well, I'm a bit underwhelmed." Mm-hmm. Well, they might not, but they probably will. Like I Am Setsuna is a bit like that as well, in the sense that you can play it and know that what RPGs are like now. And that kind of thing, and you can be a little bit underwhelmed and be kind of like, well, it's just doing what's already been done, only probably not quite as well as the classics. So that's kind of what holds it back.
Okay, and that's still prevalent with other games as well. Like we all know that Tarrant has an absolutely abysmal taste in games.
Yep.
And I showed him some footage of Final Fantasy VII, and it wasn't so much that it was the worst bit of the entire game, which is right in the first reactor when you have to synchronize your button press with Tifa and Barrett. And it just doesn't work. It wasn't even the fact that I was showing him that; it was the fact that how it looked, and he saw that and just said, "I can't play that."
No.
And it's such a shame because I played through it again, and I know I've got the rose-tinted glasses and stuff, but I really do think it holds up from a story and a gameplay perspective.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you're saying that is an issue though with I Am Setsuna.
It's kind of the case. I mean, it looks better than Final Fantasy VII does. It's quite a nice looking game with snow and this kind of thing. But it's that kind of feel that it's never gonna put you on the edge of your seat, and it's never gonna really surprise you with anything that it does. Like the story's predictable. It's got a lot of fantasy, like Japanese fantasy RPG cliches, and I mean, it's a solid enough game. It's actually pretty good. It's just the fact that if that's not what you're in for, it's never going to change your mind.
Okay, and 7 out of 10 obviously still a good score, so the kind of people that would appeal to anyway are going to absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, I think so, yeah.
But for the average punter, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an average punter because I do like JRPGs. I'm not super hardcore into them, but I do love a good JRPG. But I am turned off by the idea of this game because of my experience with similar titles that aimed to do similar things.
Right.
Where they said we're going to go back to a simpler time. It's an homage to titles of years past, but really they haven't gone far beyond the revelations that developers came to in the late 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, like, imitating something and doing it well, and Setsuna does it really well. It'll make you feel that nostalgia, and it'll make you feel like you're playing an older RPG. But it just doesn't take any risks, doesn't take any risks of its own. It's just kind of like, it's not stale, but it's not spectacular kind of thing.
Okay, and that's 7 out of 10, and that's on pushsquare.com now. I think has the review just been released the past couple of days?
Yeah, today.
Yeah, went up at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. today. I like to think that you were sat there in your little journalist cave.
I did proofread it at 3 a.m.
Oh, mate, go to sleep. Come on.
You should have seen this weekend. I was up until, what was it? Like, Evo 2016 was this weekend. Well, this weekend just gone.
Right.
The big fighting game event in Las Vegas. And that went on until 8:30 in the morning on the Saturday.
I mean, I've stayed up to watch wrestling pay-per-views before, but they wrap up about 5 a.m.
So, yeah, just imagine that only you're waiting for, like, people to get their Street Fighter act together.
You're a crazy man, Robert Ramsey. Before we let you go, Ben, are you going to tell us what a clementine is?
I have the answers.
Okay, read us that.
Okay, so orange is the largest and like most dense, and it's like most packed than all of the others, and it's the sweetest overall. It's not a hybrid of anything else.
Okay.
A satsuma is small and sweet, but can be bitter and has loose skin.
Oh, that sounds like
horrible.
That sounds like the conclusion of Robert's
review. Comes from China. It comes from China. Milder flavour. This person loves the baggy skin. Seedless. A tangerine is tangy and sweet with harder skin than
tangerine
satsuma.
as well. Forgot about tangerines.
Throw that into the mix.
Yeah.
But it's still easy to peel. The skin is slightly knobbly. The flesh is almost as sweet as an orange, but a little less tart.
Oh yeah, keep going.
Oh wow.
A clementine is very tart and a cross between a grapefruit and an orange.
That's an abomination.
So basically,
we're not going to even discuss genetic freak.
Yeah. It's a variation of a mandarin. That's another one we forgot.
Oh, for God's sake.
Which is a type of orange.
Down this orange rabbit hole.
The mandarin and the clementine are tart and sweet, with more tart than plain oranges. They are both seedless and have a shiny, smooth peel.
See, I don't even know what tart is at this point. We've thrown the word around so much in the past 2 sentences, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, basically they're all different. They've all been crossed.
Great. So they're not the same thing.
They're all basically mutations of an orange.
Crossbred oranges.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Bastard oranges.
Wow, that was very difficult.
Insightful and terrifying.
Yeah.
That there are so many different
oranges.
types of mutant oranges. Yeah, exactly. Robert, thank you so much for coming on and discussing oranges. I mean, Am Setsuna with us.
It's been a pleasure.
And your review, as I said, on pushsquare.com now, right probably at the top of the front page if you're listening to this, because it's he's the most important man and he reviews the most important games.
And I sticky all my articles for exorbitant amount of time.
Yes, to get that hubris.
So where should we begin? What do you remember? Just enter the simulation and relax.
Time for Indie Bin.
Yeah.
It's the part of the show where we take an independently developed game and we see if it's Indie Bin
or not D-Bin.
So this week we've got Assemblance.
Yeah, I've never heard of this. What is this?
Have you not? No. See, it's had a release.
Is this the one that you mentioned very briefly last show? How was it?
It's weird.
So tell me what it is again.
I really liked it. It's basically you don't even know like what you are necessarily, but you're a guy. And you wake up and you're in a machine essentially that is recreating memories.
Okay.
And it's testing your desire to remember or not remember certain things. And it's just a narratively driven, very weird kind of simulation experience. And it's like a part of an ongoing franchise,
Right.
which is weird because it feels self-contained without answering anything.
Okay.
It's not a very fulfilling narrative.
That's a shame.
It's very much left threadbare, I think, but in a very wholesome way. So you feel finished, but you still want to like YouTube all the answers, kind of
Right.
thing.
Okay. Well, I like games like that.
Kind of like Dark Souls in a way that you thought you understood what was going on, but you
Firewatch.
still, yeah,
You want
Firewatch
to
as
look
well.
up and everybody's gone to the Rapture. You want to look up theories and stuff like
Other games I loved.
Well, exactly. Games that that don't necessarily leave you wondering because the story was terrible and didn't fill in the blanks. Because then you just think, well, screw that. I don't actually care about what they are. The things that make you sit there and go, I wonder what. I don't know if I'm too stupid or if I just didn't grasp what was going on there. But I'd be very interested to know how other people experienced what I just played through.
Yeah. And to be fair, the YouTube stuff on it's really good at the moment. Kotaku are running an article at the moment.
Who?
Exactly who? Never heard of them. There's an article out there being run that is explaining the big secret, and I'm refusing to read it because I don't want to ruin it for myself.
But you finished it.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be unravelled. I quite like this sense of mystery. Like, I haven't read any theories on Firewatch.
Oh.
Because I liked the experience I got from it.
Okay.
I like the theories I have from it. But it's interesting, and it's from Nilo Studios, who are comprised of ex-Bungie devs, so people that worked on Halo, which obviously has an incredibly rich story, even though it's not used.
It's in the Grimoire cards, right?
Yeah. No, Destiny as well, obviously. You can see the pedigree, definitely, and it bodes well when this happens that devs splinter off and make their own studios, because there's some serious talent out there, and it's great that they have the ability to give themselves creative freedom.
Shut up, boss.
But yeah, it's definitely worth giving it a go. It's currently only available in the US store.
Really? Did you buy a voucher?
Yeah. There's been an issue with the European release due to PEGI.
Oh, really?
They didn't anticipate how difficult it would be to get a PEGI rating.
Why is this?
We're bureaucratic as hell.
Brexit?
Yeah, PEGI ratings can take months.
Right.
So they've filed for a PEGI rating. It's an ERSB in the US, isn't it? Apparently that's a lot easier to get.
As long as you're paying for it, it doesn't matter which store, they're still getting all the money, aren't they? So that's
it goes
fine.
to them. Yeah, it's fine. You can do the.
Well, I'm very interested in that. I might look up some stuff.
Honestly, if you liked Rapture, if you liked Firewatch,
so is it a bit spoopy?
Yeah, a bit spoopy. It's like a psychologically thriller. It's not jumpy or anything as such.
Okay.
But it plays on your sense of reality a bit.
Sounds interesting.
It's definitely a headphones-on game.
I don't know if I could handle that.
And obviously, as you can tell from my enthusiasm towards it, it's definitely out the bin.
Excellent.
So fire up the JPEG.
Fire up the JPEG, folks. We're going to fire
I'm
up
actually going to have to
JPEG.
design one of these.
What, just a terrible JPEG?
Just a terrible...
It would take literally seconds.
Yeah, I'll make
just
one.
on Paint.
I'm going to
Paint,
make
you have
one.
to use Paint, though.
Okay, I'll make Paint. Challenge accepted.
Good.
Look out for that, guys.
Originally reviewed 7 out of 10 on the best PlayStation website on the internet, pushsquare.com, by Graham Banas.
I still read that as Graham Bananas.
Might be Banyas. I don't know.
Yes.
Sorry, man. Graham,
Sorry.
let us know how you pronounce your last name. Graham.
Graham.
Yes. Let's move on to some What Are We Playing? What have you been up to, man? What games have you been playing in the last couple of weeks?
I kind of went back a bit. The PlayStation store had a bit of a flash sale on digital.
Oh yeah, huge sale.
Amazing. So
my friend keeps going on about Soma and how everyone
I
should
picked
play
up
it.
Soma for £4
£4 or something.
Yeah, I picked it up. I haven't played it yet. It's scary. Spoopy.
Yeah, and
Mega spoopy.
That was the reason I didn't want to play it. And he said, "Oh, it's not scary at all." And then he showed me a clip on his PS4, which was literally the scariest thing I've seen in a game, where something just takes over his screen, and it's like a horrifying face, and it's just screeching, and it's like, oh my god, I don't want to play that.
But yeah, everyone on my Twitter blew up like Soma for £4, do it. And it was like 20 quid before.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was
It's
like,
a huge reduction,
do
and by all accounts, it's an outstanding game. So.
Definitely, I picked that up, but I didn't buy it. I didn't play it.
Yeah.
But I did play Flower. Because I've had Journey for ages.
I love Flower.
I really like it.
Flower is fantastic. The music is gorgeous in that game.
Playing it through with my girlfriend, she sits there and I have to hold her hands and tilt the controller for her.
Like Ghost.
Huh?
That film with the pottery with the ghost.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah.
God, that's a weird.
I haven't seen that film, by the way. I just know it's that film called Ghost.
Yeah, no, that's your favourite. It's your favourite film.
I genuinely have seen it.
It's really cool, and she's not massive on video games.
How's she getting on with the 6-axis? Is it better on PS4?
Yeah, it's better on PS4.
Oh, PS3 was a bloody nightmare.
I was playing it. I was on my phone, and I was doing it with one hand.
Oh,
I could.
Were you?
Yeah. But if you get the kind of the wrist action right, you can really nail it. So it's this is.
Mate, just stop. What else have you been playing?
I've been playing Rocket League as well. That's such an easy jump in, jump out game.
Croquet League, I think they should do. I think they should make Croquet League.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying Rocket League. It's just simple. Like I can play it. It's what games are like 10 minutes. So I've got
Less
some time
than
to
5
go.
minute time limit.
Yeah, but you got stoppage and.
No, you haven't got stoppage. I mean, if you're bad and you concede a load of goals, then you have to watch replays. But that's it.
But yeah, I've been playing that, and I actually restarted Bloodborne and realised that I didn't have an absolute Scooby where I was. Right. So I've decided I'm going to start again. Yeah.
You're going for that Dark Souls 3 platinum as well, right?
I am. Yeah.
How's that going?
Slow, really, really slow.
You haven't got much left. It's just the collection trophies, right?
Yeah, I need to do, and I've nearly done the Mound Makers. PvP stuff.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. You wait until you get the Blood Moon Grass or whatever the hell it's called, and the ones where you have to farm the night vertebra shackles, I think they're called.
Yeah.
They're terrible. Have fun with those.
Great. But yeah.
Got all that to look forward to.
It's just like the last few trophies basically. It's all miracles, all pyromancies. Because I killed the miracle chick before.
You damn fool.
Yeah, so I've got a tome and I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, you need to start a new game then, which is irritating. Just
I
had to map it all out on a document.
Yeah.
Like, I was doing the quest, and it's called a quest in the loosest possible terms because you just basically it's just a checklist of things to do at certain points in the game. It doesn't tell you to do any of it. You doesn't. That's classic Bus 102 right there. Just shouting all the time. It doesn't tell you what to do. So basically, I had to map out that quest to get the third ending. And then in between times, I had to make sure that I was visiting people at specific times. Yeah, it was an absolute pain in the arse.
I've got those two. I've got two endings. I've got the Usurper of Fire and the other ending, like the non.
Last one
typical.
Is King of the Undead or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I've got those two endings ready to go, so I can do the cloud save thing. So I can get those put to bed.
Yeah.
Gestures.
I can give you the rings.
Yes, gestures, rings, pyromancies, miracles, and sorceries.
Sorceries. Yeah.
That's it.
That's all I've got. Yeah, you can do those easily in a playthrough before even finishing the game. You just have to get through most of it.
I just need to find all the gestures. I mean, I've ruined...
Gestures, again, are things you're going to have to map out because there's stupid stuff like... After you've done this, but before you do this, make sure you go to this place, and while human, you need to summon this person before the boss. And once you've beaten the boss, go to this other place, and then their sign will be on the floor to be summoned in again. When they come in, they'll gesture at you, and then they'll fight you, and you kill them, and you take their hat, and you do a little dance, and then you'll get another gesture.
You didn't beat that boss hopping on one foot? Well, you've ruined the quest.
Yes, yeah, it's silly.
Yeah.
It's silly.
But yeah, I'm going to do that eventually. I probably, by New Game Plus 3... I'll have that sorted because I'm really, really enjoying it. In fact,
New Game Plus 3 or just New Game Plus 2?
New Game Plus. Yeah,
okay. Playing through for the fourth time. You're a crazy man.
No, I mean I got through this playthrough in what, 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah, it's not bad going.
Flew through it. Absolutely flew through it.
It's a great game.
What about you? What are you playing?
Played a bit more of the Borderlands. I was talking about last time. So I polished off the Borderlands 2 Platinum in PS4. It really didn't take that much time at all. And then I finished off Borderlands the pre-sequel in the Handsome Collection. I had played it on the PS3 version. Played it through again with a friend. Played all the DLCs, all really fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking at going for the Borderlands pre-sequel Platinum because I'm not too far away from that. And then getting it on PS3 because I'm not too far away from it there either.
Oh my god.
But currently I'm playing through Gas Out of Hell.
Oh, okay.
Which is the Saints Row game.
It's the PS Plus offering.
Yeah, it does not hold your hand. Let's just put it that way. Because it just dumps you in. It's clearly taking place after the events of Saints Row 4. Doesn't explain who anyone is, and it just goes, right, off you go. It's like, what the hell is happening? Who are these people? Why am I here? I mean, it does explain why you're here in a cutscene at the start. It's clearly a budget piece of DLC. They've done quite a lot, though, in terms of... It's basically the Red Dead Undead Nightmare. version of Red Dead Redemption.
No way.
So it's like they've completely redone the city to be like hell.
Yeah.
All the powers are different. There are special weapons and things like that. The missions, like there's not much to it. You can finish the entire story side of stuff in a few hours. It doesn't take long at all. Because
I like bite-sized games.
Well, it was clearly intended to be a piece of DLC. That's what it strikes me as. And they thought, let's release it as a standalone game. Which is great in one sense, because it has a platinum. But terrible in another sense, because people are going to buy it, or people are going to get it on PS Plus.
Expect a full release.
And they won't have played Saints Row 4, and they won't know what's going on. But really, to be honest, I was just playing it for the platinum anyway. I'm like 80% of the way there, and I'll get it done probably before the end of the day. So it's nice. It's all right. It's not the best, and it reminds me of all the things I really liked about Saints Row the Third. So I might pick up Saints Row 4 on PS4.
Nice.
And play through that full game.
And there is why it was on PS Plus.
Exactly.
Clever.
Exactly.
Very clever.
But a lot of people will be turned off. I played because it's got co-op for the entire thing, which the Saints Row games always do. And I played a little bit of it with my friend, and he was just the whole time he was just so unimpressed by it. It's like, this is stupid. I'm not. Is that meant to be funny? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's got quite a unique sense of humour. The Saints Row.
It's a bit Borderlands. It's a bit Borderlands in that it's very in your face. Like, hey, bro, and there is clever humour there, but you have to dig sort of through the not so subtle stuff. Let's put it that way. But that's what I've been playing.
Cool.
And that's all for now. So I think we're moving on to some audience questions. Questions. These are very kindly submitted by our listeners and some of our staff writers, actually.
Yes.
You can, as we said earlier, post questions in the forum topic, pushsquare.com/forums at the top of the online community section, or email us, ben@pushsquare.com. First up is Quintumpley.
Thoughts on the Pokemon Go phenomenon, and are we playing it?
No,
you're not playing it. You
No.
downloaded it, and then you got rid of it.
I played it for half an hour. I saw the appeal. I saw how it would take over my life. It drained almost all of my battery, and then I thought, you know what? I really like how people are getting so excited for this game, and I love how it's bringing people together. People are going outside and going on walks and getting really excited with each other and stuff, and I like looking over people's shoulder and seeing the Pokemon they're getting, and that's great and that's awesome. I don't need that in my life right now.
It's fair enough.
I'm happy to not have that.
Yeah.
And I posted this on Twitter, and I think you saw this.
Yeah.
I was walking through the street yesterday, and I had my phone out. Some kid, out of a cliche, out of an 80s film, or 90s film, I suppose, would be more appropriate with Pokemon.
Yeah.
He goes past me on a skateboard, and he says, "Yeah, Pokemon Go." I was like,
No.
I'm not. I'm just on. What is this? What it is? Is this
Leave
life
me alone.
now? But I was actually checking eBay to see if Pokemon cards had been dispatched. So, I mean, he was almost right.
Close, yeah.
But no, it wasn't. It wasn't Pokemon Go. You, however, have been. You didn't start off loving it, did you?
No, I downloaded it during the US release, so I had it a few days before the UK.
Yeah, I should say I waited until the official UK version came out, at which point I think most of the excitement had subsided.
Yeah.
From most people who had downloaded it immediately.
I didn't want to download it. I didn't have any space on my phone, and my battery's weak enough as it is, so I kind of left it to the wayside. This fog of Pokemon craze descended upon the industry, and I got bitten by the bug and decided, screw it, I'm going to try and get hold of it, and I did, through the magic of I'm now based in Starbucks in Times Square.
What?
Yeah, I live in a Starbucks in Times Square, according to iPhone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What have you
It
done?
asked for address, so I just searched for Starbucks in New York.
Oh, okay. Is that so you could play the Pokemons?
Yes.
Well, the Pokemon bug bit everyone. I mean, a little bit before this, I'd started up my Pokemon card collection again.
Yep.
Because I wanted to get all 151 of the original cards, which I've now done. And it took bloody ages, and it cost a lot of money. And I've got to say a huge thank you to the people I worked with up until last week, when I finished up with my current job, my full-time job, who very sneakily asked me how my Pokemon card collection was going, because I'd been talking about it briefly, maybe a lot, and asking them if they had any, Pokemon cards left at home or whatever that they wanted. And they said, "Oh, just send over a list and I'll see if I've got any of them." And then they bought me all of them.
Clever.
All of the ones I needed, like 20 Pokemon cards, and they bought them all for me. And gave them to me as a leaving present, which was very, very kind of them.
I got you a few as well.
You bought me a few as well for my birthday about a month ago. Speaking of which, I'm going to give you your birthday present on the show.
Really?
At the end. Yeah, it's game related. And because your birthday's next week.
It is, yeah.
This is probably the last time I'm going to see you before I bugger off.
It's really sad.
Yeah, so
really sad.
We're going to have to start a long distance
relationship.
A long distance podcast relationship. Professional relationship. Which we still need to discuss. Basically, it means I think we're going to be taking maybe a 2 or 3 week break just because I'm busy next week, then I'm going on holiday, and then I'm moving into my new place. So it's going to be pretty hectic. But as soon as I've got some time, we will podcast again, and you will hear from us.
Yeah,
over Skype. Quality will be even worse. Yeah, no buses though.
No buses. That's
classic bus 106, whatever the hell that was. Next question from the McNoisy. If you could change your name to a game character's, what would it be?
Ooh. This is so tough. I always go straight to your game section. Like,
you just look at it for inspiration.
I don't know. I quite like my name.
Yeah. What about Nathan Drake?
No.
Mr. Drake is Drake is a cool last name. Quite like John Marston. No?
No.
There's a wrestling game there. You could be literally any one of hundreds of weird wrestling characters.
Stone Cold.
Steve Austin?
Yeah, no,
Mr. Austin.
No.
Mr. Stone Cold.
Yeah.
No first name.
Mr. Cold.
Mr. Stone Cold. Stone, could you come here, please? Yeah, Mr. The Rock. First name The. Yeah, there's lots of cool names in games because they kind of have to give them cool names. Otherwise it's a bit crap. Soap McTavish. Yeah,
done.
I think okay, that's it. We're done here. Rudy Manchego asks, will Sony ever release a new handheld, and is there a market for it?
Yes, Nintendo dominates it.
Yes, they will release a new handheld.
No, yes, there is a market for them, and Nintendo dominates it. Not for Sony.
I think Sony will, but not for a long time. I think they're just going to see how these young Nintendo dogs, they're going to wait until these guys tire themselves out because they're new to the game. Nintendo, they haven't been doing this very long, so they're just going to wait until they're playing the long game. They're going to see this. There's only so many numbers, right, that you can put in front of DS. So wait until they run out of numbers and then give it another go, right?
I think they'll come back. I think they will do another handheld.
I think they should just do a sequel to the PSP. I think the Vita was a ridiculous name. Which now doesn't sound so alien, but I remember when they announced what it was called after calling it the NGP for ages, the next gen portable, and
that's even worse.
And then they came out with Vita, and everyone was like, "Where the bloody hell did you get that? You got PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation Move? What?
No.
Ridiculous. Even at least they've gone back on, now it's PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
It's not something like PlayStation
Morpheus.
Oh yeah, something ridiculous like that.
Just wait for Neo.
Yeah.
Oh,
they'll call it something sensible.
I've just realised that they're doing Matrix nicknames. Yeah. That's just clocked with me. Neo and Morpheus.
Yeah, you're right. Those are two.
Yeah. Cool.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Write an article.
No,
stop you.
Actually, my Destiny article's been impending for ages.
Oh no, it's live.
Is it live?
It went out, yeah. People commented on it.
Really? No one's told me?
Yeah, no, it is.
Oh, well, there you go. You guys asked, and I dug it out of storage, brushed the dust off, and threw it at Robert.
Grimoire cards now, if you want to.
Have people told me I'm wrong?
No, I don't think so. I think people would largely agreeing with you.
Really?
Look, sort out your hubris later, okay? We're doing a podcast.
Yeah,
you can look it up in a bit.
Did you realise it had gone live? Cool.
Yeah, it is out. I saw it go. I assumed you knew it had gone live because you posted in the forum saying it's impending. Here's a link to my Vice article about how I was ripped off. And that was literally about 20 minutes before I went live.
Oh, no way.
Cool, so
cool.
it's out there. But yeah, I'm not saying that the name Vita was the reason that the Vita failed, but it can't have helped calling it Vita when there was a long-standing...
Yeah.
I think if they come back with PlayStation Portable 2 and people who may have heard of the Vita and seen Vita games on shelves or whatever might see the PlayStation Portable 2 and think, I love the PlayStation, I love the PSP. Yeah. I had a PSP. It had amazing... They had GTA on it, and I feel like they're in a much better position now with publishers given the success of the PS4 than they were with PS3 and when the Vita released. Definitely. So they might finally be able to get some people on board that are willing to make big budget games for a portable device.
And hardware's getting better every day, so maybe they're going to wait until...
Look at the NVIDIA Shield and stuff like that.
Exactly.
They can, if they want to put the mechanics, even if they call it the PlayStation 4 Portable, even though that's a PS...
Portable. PlayStation Portable.
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like PlayStation Affordable, and we all know it's not going to be. It's not going to be affordable. Anchor Sam, what's your favourite games of 2016? Any Game of the Year contenders?
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
And that's a contender. Firewatch. That's another Game of the Year contender.
Uncharted 4.
Nope.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Blood and Wine, if you're considering expansions. It's basically a new game.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my game collection again, man. Trying to work out what I've actually played this year. There's a lot of stuff, and by the end of it we'll have had a whole load of awesome new games like Mafia 3 and things like that, which I'm very excited for.
I mean, last episode we spoke about the top games coming through.
Yeah, top games still to come, and there's a lot on there.
There's a lot on there.
A lot of Japanese crap.
Hyperlight comes out on my birthday, Hyperlight Drifter.
Yeah, you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I got it pre-ordered and everything.
Nice.
Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that.
Good stuff.
Because that didn't have when we were talking last episode, it didn't have a release date. And then out of the blue they were like, it's coming out on Ben's birthday. They didn't say specifically my birthday, but they said the date is my birthday.
The trailer just ends, coming out, Terrence's birthday. People are like, who's that?
What? When is this? Just Googling me.
Makes no sense. Finally, Rudy Manchego asks, paper or plastic? Now, is he talking about payment or carrier bags? Let's answer both.
Yes.
What's your favourite style of carrier bag?
I like the premise of paper because I've seen a devastation to our oceans that plastic can cause.
Okay, reel your neck in, sunshine.
But yeah,
now is not the time.
I like paper bags.
Yeah, I like the idea of paper
I like
bags.
watching them split in the rain.
Okay. All right. The only place I know that does paper bags is CEX, and there's something quite cool
Primark?
about. Well, I don't go to Primark.
Oh, sorry.
I've been wearing the same clothes for 7 years.
Oh, okay. Not that I shop in better places. I just don't shop.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I've been going to, I don't know, if the Ritz had an outlet store.
You can't even name a shop.
Like a fancy clothes. I'm sorry, Mr. Fancy Clothes Shop. No, I don't clothes shop at all. I've got like most of my t-shirts are wrestling shirts.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So, and I bought these shorts from Sports Direct, so I'm not fussy. I never wear matching socks.
Fair enough.
I wasn't taking the piss. I like going to CEX and getting games and then putting them in paper bags. There's something quite cool about that.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
They do it at KFC as well.
Do they? Well, yeah, they do. Yeah, they've been doing that for a while, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's recycling that stuff because it is full of chicken bones, isn't it? So it kind of defeats the point. But I've got a few. Like, I'm drowning in reusable plastic bags at the moment, and I do make a conscious effort to take the same one out with me every time. But I have a small collection of, and I'm going to call them original edition, first edition plastic bags, like plastic bag 1.0. Before they were the expensive reusable, expect 5p. Before they were the reusable ones you had to pay for, the cheap, crappy ones.
Do you reckon you could eBay vintage plastic?
Vintage plastic bags, yeah, a circa 2012 co-op bag. The thing is, I've got very few of them. I've got like 6. And I use them for my bin, my little bin I have in my bedroom, and I'm so conscious that I can't get any more that I empty the bin bag and reuse the bin bag, the disposable. So in a way, it's worked.
It's worked.
Systems work. Anyway, money is probably what he's talking about. Problem in the UK is that chains will take card, but if you go to any shop, if you go to a chip shop or anything like that, chances are they only take cash. So if you're going to somewhere that's not a chain, you're gonna want to take cash with you every time. I prefer card because it's easier, but it's always nice to have a bit of cash as well, I think.
I like the premise of card in the sense that it's coming direct. Like, I'm paid into my bank account, and then using card, it comes out of my bank account. There's no kind of middle ground.
Or using your phone.
Yeah, obviously. It's easier to keep tabs on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Cash seems to evaporate. I get it out, and within a week it's gone.
It doesn't last very long, does it?
Also, you know what you were saying about places not handling card. So like we need cash for our place, like chip shops and stuff. Concerts was one of the main reasons I ever got cash out, And they've started taking card now, because you can get these little portable plug-in things, as long as you've got an Ethernet
Oh
connection.
yeah. They were doing that at the Star Wars celebration. They had them plugged into iPads.
Yeah, because then you can launch off the 4G and stuff, which
But
I think
still,
is amazing.
if you work in a greasy chip shop, you don't want that stuff hanging around, are you? Anyway, that's all the questions. Thank you very much for submitting those. Again, ben@pushsquare.com if you have any questions or feedback or anything like that. Alternatively, we primarily look to the forums, pushsquare.com/forums, and then stick it to the top of the online community's Push Square podcast. Let's end this show.
So, coming up on pushsquare.com is...
Do you want to read this verbatim? Because Sammy has actually filled in the blanks here as to what is coming up on pushsquare.com.
I'm not going to fake laugh.
Okay, just read it.
Ha ha, not much at all.
Yeah!
It's a dry spell.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Not much goes down in the summer months because people go outside, apparently.
Not us.
Not us.
We're dying, though.
Inside. And
outside. We're dying all over.
But they're going to be updating the top 20 PS4 game list that they do twice yearly. Is that another way of saying twice yearly?
Biannually is once every 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So I suppose no.
No.
That's the answer. He should know. He's the word man.
There's also reviews for games like Adrift
with a 1,
and Galgun. They're coming up. Adrift looked really freaky. Like,
did it?
Really weird and cool.
Oh.
It's kind of like Gravity the game.
Well, that'll be indie bin probably at some point.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, next time it's spoilers, but it's going to be Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh, wow.
Because I want to talk about that.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's pushsquare.com, the greatest PlayStation website in the world, so it's going to be a hell of a lot of No Man's Sky stuff.
Yes. When was that coming out again? 4th of August?
August the 9th.
9th of August. So it may well be that our next review will be headlined, or our next show will be headlined by No Man's Sky review.
And we can grill Sammy
Yes, we can.
like a burger on a summer barbecue.
Yeah, stop it.
Anyway, where else can people find this PlayStation content?
Yeah, if they want to find this PlayStation content, all you have to do to get that coming straight to your social media feeds is follow us on Twitter @PushSquare, or find us on Facebook.com/PushSquare. And if you want to see rather than read because you're lazy like me, go to YouTube.com/PushSquare, and you can find vlogs and streams and live things and fairies dancing, and even the podcast. Actually, we put that up there too.
Goes there too.
It's just audio with a static picture. But if you don't want to do it that way, you can do it that way. It's totally up to you. We're completely open to it. And of course, there's other video form shenanigans there as well. And where would they go if they'd like to hear more of us?
The Push Square podcast can be found on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Are you off? See you later.
Yeah, I'm going.
It's getting off. You can find us on SoundCloud,
Getting off.
Stitcher, steady on, iTunes, and when you go onto iTunes, if you could give us a 5-star rating so we could pack up them ego points, that would be absolutely phenomenal, because we need them. We feed off of them. It's our life force. Oh, bloody hell!
It's a gift.
What the hell?
Ben's birthday next week.
He's wrapped it in everything.
I've wrapped it.
I'm opening it now.
You can open it now.
Yeah.
You can open it.
So it's video game related.
It is, yeah. Hopefully this isn't too deafening for people.
Ah, no way.
Yeah, way.
It's a podcast, so people don't know what it is, but it's a canvas.
Isn't it the coolest thing you have ever seen and not heard?
That is awesome, man. It's Firewatch, the lookout tower.
Yeah.
Ollie Moss's artwork on a canvas. That's so cool, man.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
You can hang that somewhere.
Yeah, I will.
I even paid extra for the little hanging thing as well. There it
Thanks,
is.
man.
Look at that. But anyway, to wrap it up, our last podcast...
Wrap it up.
Shut up. Our last podcast in the same room for the foreseeable. Make sure you keep it locked to pushsquare.com, the best PlayStation website on the internet, and if anyone tells you otherwise, you can punch them in the face. That's a rule. Ooh, you nearly missed it
missed
there
that.
because you were drinking. Thanks, Tarrant.
Thanks, Potter. I'm going to miss this sofa.
No, you're not. You only say that because you're physically unable to move from it because it's so sweaty.
Thank you for listening to the Push Square Podcast. For the latest PlayStation news, reviews, and features, visit www.pushsquare.com.